one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Please be seated. I'll call the meeting to order. I'll ask the recorded treasurer to call the roll.
Barnes.
Here.
Hastings.
Here.
Lynch. Pistol.
Here.
Ward.
Here.
Williams.
Here.
Yeah, tonight's agenda, I'll entertain a motion a second to move J. Murdock and D.L. Webb to the front of our agenda.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? I'll ask for a vote.
Barnes.
Yes.
Hastings.
Yes.
Pistol.
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Thank you. It brings us to, I'll entertain a motion a second to approve the agenda as amended.
So second.
As for any discussion, I'll ask for a vote. Sorry.
Barnes.
Yes.
Hastings.
Yes.
Pistol.
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Thank you. We have in front of you the minutes for October the 9th and also the monthly financials. I'll entertain a motion second to approve those as presented.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? I'll ask for a vote.
Barnes.
Yes.
Hastings.
Yes.
Pistol.
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes. We'll go ahead and take care of the police department. Chief J. Murdock, your report.
I thought D.L. was going first.
Yeah.
Oh, DL? Okay. Fire chief, go ahead.
Mine won't take just a minute. Everything's going real good. We've worked a couple of accidents in the last month. We haven't had any fires, knock on wood. We did have our open house last Friday. It turned out real well. People in and out all day. Everybody seemed to like the new fire station. With all that being said, on January the 6th, I got a call last week. ISO, who I've been talking about is going to end up coming. They're coming January the 6th. So having the new firehouse done is going to be big, I think. And the improvements that Will has made with the water department is going to be big. So January 6th, we'll know kind of what's going on there. Y'all have a MOU in front of you tonight that'll be later on. It's an agreement with Survival Flight on the electricity bill. I've already okayed that with them, so I hope that passes. Other than that, if y'all have any questions, I'll be glad to try to answer them.
That's all I had, and I saw Bill Eoff. That's a good chief we had back then. We had a good one then.
I did take those pictures and put it on Facebook, and I will say the picture of Bill Eoff has been shared more than any other picture that was on there.
Was there a lot of old firefighters get to come?
We had 3 or 4 of the older ones that were able to show up. I say older ones, retired ones that were showed, yes, sir. So, and they were impressed. I think they liked it.
Yeah.
I guess Wendell Lee, was he a firefighter?
Yeah.
He was there when they started
He was
fire.
there when it started. It
Lynn Bradford's dad was there. Yep.
Okay, anything for the chief? I know you got to get going.
I have a meeting to go to. It was already planned at 6:30, so.
Yeah. And, that you got the ISO on January 6th. That's good news. And good job to all you guys on the new fire station. Appreciate it. Thank you. Chief J. Murdock.
You guys should have a copy of my report. Big takeaways are accidents went way up last month. We worked 17 of them. 6 of them were in a parking lot. Had 192 calls for service. We opened 12 new investigations, closed 9 with 6 felony charges, 3 misdemeanors. Took 13 animal control calls. Scare on the Square went great for us. We had no problems. Moonshine Festival went great for us. We had no problems. Other than that, if you have any questions about my report, be happy to answer.
No, all I had was your report. And if you want to do anything tonight on computers in the car or...
Yes. So, I guess I missed. I just missed it. I guess in October, all our computers are not supporting Windows 11 now. So I'm gonna need to do a computer refresh. I apologize. I should have been more ahead on that. It just never didn't really cross my radar. So I talked to the people that we're gonna be having doing our IT next year, Next Step Innovation, and they got me a quote for 7 laptops and 1 desktop. What that'll do is that'll start getting us the equipment to start having the in-car terminals so we can do our reports in the vehicles, we can do citations in the vehicles, run information in the vehicles. This is just basically starting to eat the elephant one bite at a time, as we go. The quote was for 7 laptops and 1 desktop for $20,541.20. The laptops are the ruggedized ones. They're also Windows Pro. So as long as we take care of them, we shouldn't have to do this. We'll be able to get on a replenishment system to where every couple of years then we can just replace them as we go. So we won't have to take as big a bite at the apple as we are this time. So I'd like permission to go ahead and see about purchasing those from you.
You need a motion, a second.
Where are we getting the money from?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Where are we getting the money from? I gotta know that.
To make the motion, we need to know where to make the motion from where the money's coming from. So we need to decide where we're taking it from to make the motion.
I don't know, I was just gonna do it from, our general fund, but I don't know if is there a recommendation on that, or is it?
I haven't looked at it, so I don't know.
Can we do this, okay, can we do this, is it time sensitive?
It needs to be done pretty quick. Yes, sir.
There's nowhere in your budget to move it from?
No, sir.
You have any suggestions?
Well, how much money's in the general fund?
$3,491,000 some odd.
Let's make a motion, we move the money from the general fund.
I'll second it.
Previous year's revenue? Because it's gotta be a line item, so you're gonna get it from previous year's revenue? Is that where you're getting it from?
That sounds good.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Did we get a motion and a second for that?
We did.
I'll ask for a vote.
Barnes?
Yes.
Hastings? Pistol?
Yes.
Ward?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Pretty soon. Okay, anything else for the chief?
Any other questions for me?
Okay,
All right. Thank you, guys. Y'all have a great night.
have a good evening. Donnie Chambers is passing through. If you want to just, I know you're time sensitive as well, so
Yeah, passing through tonight. I know we've talked about the lights, so Mayor said
I'm
next
gonna, under
month.
mayor's comments, I'm gonna talk about our budget meeting. We'll do it after Thanksgiving, so.
Okay.
He called me and said he was definitely passing through, said stop and say hi, so.
You guys had any other questions? I know we did the site visit with some of you. Any follow-up questions for me that I can help answer?
Thank you. Safe travels. See you, buddy. All right, brings us back to Department Head Report, Airport Commission, Trevor Dawson. And we have you under the new business also, but you can update us
Give
on.
an airport report and then wait. Sure. For the airport this month, we had, I think I mentioned to you last meeting that we had a lightning strike, took out a bunch of runway lights and the runway end identification lights. And I think that's like, we did some emergency repairs, and that was about $2,000 just to get back going. And then we had to order some parts. Ended up being about $8,000. But I've got that submitted in for January's aeronautics meeting. So we'll probably get a reimbursement grant on that. They haven't completed that yet either, so we've still got some lights out. And then secondly, we took estimates on the, there's a fence row behind the green hangar that runs all the way down the highway. It's grown up, it's got saplings, and it's getting pretty tall, and it's primed for bird infestations, and airplanes and birds don't get along. So we're gonna try to get that mowed down and clear. I couldn't put those two together in a grant, but that was between $800 and $1,400. So it just depends on how close they can get their machine to that fence row. And then we've got the FAA, obviously the big FAA project coming up, and Joey's pretty well got that handled. Just a matter of filling out the documents. We got to do a environmental report that's due in 3 weeks. Joey's got that ready to go. And then I think plans and specs, I think they actually moved that to January, full submittal. And then we'll go through the, should be ending up, the process should be ending for that particular project. So get a free hangar. That's about it for the airport report.
How many employees do you have over there now?
Us?
Yeah.
I think 19 right now. We had 2 leave, and then we've got several in school, and so I kind of quit hiring and to get those kids back. Not kids anymore; they're 20, but they'll be done in May. We've got 2 on their way back, and then we've got 5 more, steadily through there. So I've kind of quit adding on until we get those interns / college students now coming back. So we're talking with them, and they're ready to move home. So probably middle of next year will be 20. We'd like to be back to 25.
Well, that'd be great.
They're kids, ain't they, Dale? Yeah. No. I had 21 employees, so I was in the area. Anything else for Trevor? Thank you. We'll get with you later in the meeting. Brings us to animal control. Rita's not here tonight. I'll read a report. I think she sent it to you. She had 52 calls last week. Had 52 calls. Went out on 22 of them. Had several county calls, and she had to explain couldn't get to it. It's out of her jurisdiction, but she was as helpful as she could be. Always an issue, definitely in the county, but we can't house that many dogs. It seems that the RV park across from the hospital been having a lot of cat issues, and I think she's dealt with that before. She had 1 dog bite that she handled, and it says it's now a closed case. The bite occurred at the Dewdrop RV Park on 16 West up on the hill. If anyone would like to contact her, she said her number is 253-7000. She'll be glad to answer any questions you might have. She had twisted her ankle pretty good. She was limping around today, but she's getting around better. That's all I have on that. And one thing, the 3 of us, or 3 of y'all and me, will go out there before the end of the year and kind of do a walkthrough, definitely. Probably between Thanksgiving and Christmas, after Thanksgiving. Anything on that? All right, that brings us down to fire department. We've had that. Parks and Rec and the street department, Charles Wilson.
Cool. I don't have much on parks. Everything's going pretty good there. I need to move some money though.
Charles, let's wait till I'm doing both together,
Okay.
if that's okay. Okay.
And street department, we're hanging lights. I don't know how far we'll get, but we're plugging at it anyway. So we got the other bucket truck going. So we got 2 bucket trucks. Finally got the second one running today. Got everything working on it like it's supposed to without leaving hydraulic fluid everywhere. We've done a bunch of ditch paving, put in several tiles. So and they've started working on that up there? Yes. They will be paving tomorrow.
I seen all the equipment a while ago up there.
They'll be laying asphalt tomorrow and then grinding some more. And they plan on being done in if the weather holds out, they'd be done in 4 or 5 days, but the weather's not gonna hold out. And Thanksgiving's coming in, so they'll probably be done by the 2nd or 3rd.
Are they going to one-off that Thursday, Thanksgiving?
I'm sure.
Yeah, they were up there today, and a lot of equipment. They show up to work, and I had to drainage. Steve Dunley did some drainage work. Winston Yates, he'd been trying to get a hold of me for over a month. Talked to him 2 days ago, and I'm going to meet him out there this weekend, look at some places off Memory Lane. State aid, you mentioned that today. Stoplights, got them going. We had a little trouble with that the other night at 65 and 16, but Charles did something to it.
Blow the toggle switch out.
Yeah, a squirrel, it eventually stopped that. A squirrel got electrocuted, and then it did something. And Charles did something. It's something I couldn't fix, but I appreciate that. And that convex mirror replacement, that was not an option. Somebody had brought that up, but on the memory lane or top of that.
Oh, I have not got to that. Okay. No, I have not got
That's, I wanted to rat you out on that. No, they're pretty expensive, but like I say, we'll get an answer on that, yes or no. But it may be a stretch for that. That's all I had. Question for you. You've been staying busy.
I need to move some monies around in my street department. I need to take, $6,500 out of machinery and equipment and put it in repair and maintain equipment,
5,500 of it,
5,500 of it,
and 1,000 in drainage and culverts.
1,000 in drainage and culvert.
So 55 out of
Taking
machinery?
65 out, putting 55 in one thing and 1,000 in another.
And then the parks,
And then in parks, I need to take out, $3,000 out of electrical expansion and put 1,500 in miscellaneous and 1,500 in trash pickup.
So moved.
Second.
Any other discussion? I'll ask for a vote.
Barnes,
Yes.
Hastings,
Yes.
Pistol,
Yes.
Ward,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Okay, anything else for Charles? Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Brings us to Water Department, Will Hinchey.
All right, last month we were at 10 cents per thousand on our chemical cost. Our water loss was at 32% for Clinton, 31 for Burnt Ridge, 23 for Denard, and 26 for B Branch. We have been spending more time at B Branch, so yeah, we're up a little bit in Clinton. So B Branch didn't hurt us; it brought us up 5%. So if I took B Branch out of it, we've been in the 20s. But anyway, all together, Clinton, B Branch, all the systems together was 32%. I will say that we got a report of a water leak almost 3 months ago there at the hospital. It was running down 336. It was coming out of the wall. There's not a water line there. It's hard to find anything around there because you can't shut the valves off because you'll get the hospital out of water. So we've been really watching. We've taken listening devices, tried to find it. Well, it showed itself about 2 weeks ago right beside a power pole in front of the nursing home. When they had originally put that power pole in 20-something years ago, they had gnawed the ends or gnawed the side of that pipe, and it finally just went to leaking. So that takes account of this too. So it's went down 200,000 gallons a day since we fixed that, our pumpage from the water plant. So anyway, there was a pretty good leak, but it's a wonder. I don't know how long it's been leaking. It could have been leaking for a long, long time, but it was spraying pretty good. We called Pettigene. They come and checked it out. They told us that they assured that they were like 7 foot deep. We wouldn't affect them. So we dug it down a couple Saturdays ago and got it fixed. Projects we're coming to an end on a couple of them. The manhole projects and sewer line replacement. We're going to have a final walkthrough on Monday to look at all the projects, look at everything, knock off all the checklists, just make sure we're all good. So we'll be ending up closing that project at the wastewater treatment plant. They come back and hit a couple of checklist things today. We have an automatic bar screen now. It's pretty nice. It's going to be nice until it's not nice, until it breaks and we have to work on it. But right now that thing works off a timer. It comes on once an hour and does it, but it also works off of height in the basin. It actually doesn't have a float. It just has a beam that goes down and hits, and it measures how far it is, and once it gets to a certain level it kicks on. But it's pretty nice. So we're hoping it'll take out a lot of the trash and stuff that's getting into the ponds, because it's got a 1/4 inch bar screen compared to a 1 inch that we normally had. So quite a bit of improvements there. Hoping to start using the spray fields again before too long. That was part of that project. We got a meter in that will measure how much we're putting over here on the airport on Bones property. So we're hoping to get that back up, because that is a lot cheaper to operate than the plant itself. Water line replacement in B Branch they've got 2 different projects going. They're both about halfway finished on that. Tanks, we've been painting. We've already finished 2 tanks. Did water samples on 2 of those tanks and sent them in today. We'll have to take another sample tomorrow. We shut water off to the big blue tank today, and we're running just off of VFDs. I've still got that tank full. We're going to go overnight and halfway through tomorrow just to make sure we're maintaining good, but that's run off VFDs, and then I'll drain that tank where they can start sandblasting the inside of that one. That'll leave us one more tank to do in the spring. They won't get that done. We'll be doing that one on Niagara in the spring. So those tanks in B Branch now say Clinton Water when they go back up. PWS numbers are going to go away. We're going to have just one PWS number for all of Clinton. I hadn't had a chance to talk to Chad, us back and forth, so if he wants to give his his information on Denard. We got reimbursed on all the money we spent to purchase B Branch. So when we got that reimbursement, the water board voted this last week to go ahead and just pay off the debt at Denard. That debt come to $352,414.86. We had actually made 2 different payments to USDA while government shutdown was on, and they didn't get either one of them. So those 2 months, we actually canceled the checks and got that back. But we got final payoff, went to the bank, did a draft this week. So we paid off Denard's debt. So Chad, next step, you said that maybe Nathan had paperwork for the final.
Yeah, Nathan had texted me this morning. I've been, so Nathan and I'll get back together. And
Chad had called me 2 months ago, and he's like, hey, all we need is final payoff. If you'll give me that final payoff, we'll have this done. We called and sent emails, and all you got is that automatic message saying that they were on furlough.
I think we missed it by like what?
Oh, yeah,
we
we
were
were
4
like,
days. I mean, seriously.
I think that's the day I found out government was shut down.
No,
so.
No, we called, and it was like, oh yeah, shut down.
Yeah, we got emails and calls saying all on furlough. So anyway, they're back up going. Actually, Susan got right back to us on our the emails. She answered all the emails we had sent while they were on furlough. So we did the final payout. The river bore over here, they've staged all the pipe and everything today, and they are waiting on the head to be refurbished from their last job. And as soon as they get back with the new rock head, they'll get started on that project. And I think that's well.
Have y'all started on the meters at B Branch yet?
Yes, the meter project at B Branch. We read meters this last week. And they had at that point had changed almost 1,100 meters at that point. So they're way over halfway done. So they've been back in town. They took a week and went to finish up another job, and they've been back a week. So we haven't got any more reports. Excuse me, but I'm gonna say by next month they should all be changed out when we go to read.
Any other thing for Will? Appreciate it. The water system is in great shape, so thank y'all and everybody that agreed to raise rates, throughout this, and give us the power to improve the system. It's getting a lot better on School Hill. Got a lot of good compliments, and goes back to you.
Did have a couple of praises from B Branch customers that was really happy that we did what we did. So
that's a lot of pressure.
It's going good. The main deal with B Branch that we really need to do, we bid out the SCADA project twice and not had any bites on it. The first time we did, we had a bid come in and it was so high, and it's kind of our fault we were just trying to design it ourselves and stuff. So we are going to have to go with some cloud-based SCADA, and when we bid this out this last time, we didn't get one single bid. Had a couple contractors say it's because of the government shutdown. They couldn't get bonds. I don't know. So now that that's opened back up, we're going to rebid that out. So that's an important one. We're pretty lucky that we're running it right now the way we are. We're just running that. We still have the capability of changing those motors and running them at a percent. Like it is working off of VFD, but it's not working in auto. So when I say we're running that on VFD, we're changing that daily and just watching pressures, and we're adjusting percentages on how much that motor puts out, manually. So.
Okay. Anything else for Will? Thank you. If you need to leave, I got what's going on. Brings us down to zoning department. Tim Clark.
Okay, I'm gonna go over real quick just the projects we got going on right now. The birch tree project on 16 East, that contractor's finished. The only thing they're working on now, the owner's working on landscaping. So now that that's complete, the therapy operation that went on at the other place will move here, and then they'll start the remodel of the birch tree on Shake Rag Road, and that's just going to be for living quarters. There's a small remodel going on 278 Main Street. Davis Cash Ace Hardware on Park Street. It's got a building going up there. Remodel at 1076 Highway 65 South, Mario Ready. That's ongoing. New storage unit buildings going up at 206 Williamson Road. Boston Mountain's got a small remodel going. The Methodist Church, they're just now starting. They're going to put a building up by the church for storage and distribution. We've got the North Ark Aviation remodel, and got a couple of small residential remodels going on. Also, the workshop with the City Council and the Zoning Commission, they developed a committee. Part of it was Zoning Commission, part of it was the City Council, and what they came up with on the RVs is Chad's going to do just a slight amendment to our RV ordinance. Currently it states more than one RV constitutes an RV park, and we're just going to change that to 3 or more would constitute an RV park. And he'll be working on that and presenting that in the next meeting. Also in the next meeting, I'm going to have y'all adopt the most current building, electrical, and mechanical codes. Just to clean that up, so we're all current. That's all I got. Any questions?
Cool. Anything for Tim?
Kind of clarify the mobile home thing, get that out there for anyone that's listening for feedback, because I think the tweak here is, if currently the way the RV park statute or code is written is if you've got, I think it's 2 or more, two or more RVs on your property. And so what's written is if your property is designed to allow 2 or more RVs for the purpose of collecting rent or some form of payment for that, then you have to be permitted as an RV park. So what we've talked about doing is changing the definition. So we're okay with going basically 2 RVs on your park and on your property. We're not going to bother you of whether you're an RV park or not. But when you get to 3, then basically you're an RV park, and you're going to have to comply with our RV park code related to getting it permitted and all of the things that kind of go along with that. So if someone has 3 RVs on their property, once we pass, if this is passed, if someone has 3 RVs on their property, they're in violation of their RV park ordinance, which is a $250 fine, and it's a daily violation. So similar to a nuisance violation. We're not touching a lot of other things. It's just this one little tweak. So if there's someone out there that's got 3 RVs in their backyard, they need to be aware that we're about to regulate that. So.
Okay.
And an RV is considered travel trailer or living.
Anything that is designed to be pushed or pulled as an accommodation or motorized. So yeah, you're not a bass boat, I guess a houseboat, but mostly we're talking about travel trailers and motorhomes. So.
Anything else for Tim? Thank you. Brings us down to unfinished business. We have none. New business. First thing up is the Christmas bonus. I'll let Dina enlighten us on that. I think every year we do that if we're net 150.
Last year we did net 200 for full time and 100 for part time.
Yeah, and so we need a motion second to approve that for this year.
Yeah, if you're going to do that. Mm-hmm.
I make a motion we do the same thing.
Second.
Any discussion on that? I'll ask for a vote.
Barnes,
Yes.
Hastings,
Yes.
Lynch, Pistol,
Yes.
Ward,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Next thing is a resolution for airport funds for $58,860 requested from the city for 2 projects. I'll let Trevor or whoever wants to introduce that and discuss that.
Yeah, I can help with it. So this, I've been in here before and we talked maybe about borrowing some money and trying to get that debt retired through various grants. Decided to move on from that, and this is basically what we need to complete this. There's 2 projects, one being the structure itself, the remodel, and the second project, which both of these are outlined in this packet. I think that you've got. One project is the one that we've been talking about for 6 months, and the second is just a second project to basically go around the building. So we have this yard, to the south of this building that we've got to deal with. It's got a lot of junk in it. We've got to remove that dirt, haul it off, fill it, and then seed it, and then we'll have that ready for another hangar project. And I think that's on our CIP plan too, or AIP plan. And we'll also take down that tin privacy fence and go down the length of that fence. That's just going to be the mesh 7-foot chain link. Just clean that all up. Inside the project too also is a hangar door for this building. This door doesn't function. Couldn't hardly get it in the first grant, so we've got it in this project too. And then if you've seen the pictures of the drawings that we've got for this building, there's a canopy that's in the project too also. There's grass all out here on this ramp area, and they're also going to do some concrete work out here. So there's pavement markings, crack, seal coat, and fill for this area and probably this way, just to clean up the front side of this building. That'll be a facelift for this whole area right here. And if I go in more detail on we've got plans and specs for this project 1. So what we did was we took what do we need to operate the airport safely according to FAA standards and other things, like when lightning hits our runway lights again, we've got to have funding for that. So we've anticipated those sorts of things and basically apply. We could put $30,000 of airport funds toward project 1 and about $6,500 on project 2. That'll leave us with enough cash to operate the airport safely. We won't need any other assistance. And the main reason for this in this particular situation is this is not in our 5-year improvement plan. So we develop that plan every year. We add to it and outline projects that we want to do and how we're going to fund it. This obviously was not in there. They left last November, turned the keys over. We have a building in disrepair. It was leased and now it's not, and so it's kind of a problem for revenue. We've got to get it up and going, and so it just is not fitting in our financial plan for the 5 years. So our initial reaction was we had a tip that we could borrow the money, get the debt retired later. Not necessarily the best way to do it as a municipality. So Airport Commission wanted to try and have your consideration in helping us on this specific project.
Okay, if you looked over this or
this resolution, what it ultimately does is it would be a commitment, if you pass this, a commitment by the city to assist in funding the project to the tune of approximately $58,000. So it's not a loan, it's not being paid back, it's just the city contributing a portion to the project. So, which was around I think this is about what the number was when you talked about this several months ago.
Yeah, it's always been that figure. It's just where do we get it? How are we going to come up with that portion from the the airport's, side, because we're self-sustaining airport, meaning that all of the lease money and grant, we just take care of it, and we've improved the airport that way. And we plan to continue to do that, and we've got our capital improvement plan in place to keep, and that's the same as this building over here. But this one just came out, it's something that we have to deal with because it's loss of revenue. So, and the bright side that we've got it leased already. The school district has leased the building for 5 years, and they gave us some funding to help get this project up and going too. So all of that's in lieu of their concurrent aviation course going in that building, and they plan on sustaining that for at least 5 years. And then after that we could do whatever. It'll be a commercial building that's ready to go, city asset that we can lease. So it's not inhabitable right now. So we've got it has to be fixed one way or the other.
I think the school had I can't remember I don't remember the number. They're paying some lease. Some rent.
Well, they've deferred. Yeah, they've paid $30,000 deferred cost, and so that's partly in what we can do because that's what they gave us. We don't have too much more appropriated for this sort of it ends up being a $500,000 project, and it's just not in our 5-year plan.
But just to be clear, the school is paying consideration for the rent, so that's
it's a deferred lease. So they have a lease. They paid it up for 5 years to help make the match funds with the grant.
Does this have to come from? Do we have to have a line item from this to come from?
Mm-hmm.
We have options.
I mean, y'all are the council, so wherever y'all
I had a
decide you
question
want to
about
get it
the
from.
lightning strike. What did that cost us?
It's going to be about $8,000.
Did the insurance not pay any of that, or?
No, well, we checked with Doug, and it's just none of it would add up to a claim. And, you worry about rates after that. And basically, I go get a grant, and we'll pay less than the deductible.
So you get a grant to fix it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
It's just I've got it for January. They don't meet in December, so. And I don't have the.
Like a 90-10 or?
Well, I'm about to use that, but I've got a 50-50 and another 80-20. So.
Where did we find last year's revenue?
Well, it's just a line item that you have to get from the revenue that's in the checking account that's not already in a line item.
Okay. Well, we should have enough to do that from last year's revenue, the 20,000 we did for the police and
It's
the
not
58.
last year's, it's previous years.
Or previous years,
yeah.
however you say it, previous year's revenue. There should still be plenty in there, I think, to do that, the 58,000. So I make a motion we do the 58,000, whatever it is, whatever the total number is there.
$58,860
out of previous year's revenue.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Second.
we do need to read it either by title or in whole.
The resolution.
Yeah. I'm going to read the resolution. This is a resolution, the City of Clinton, Arkansas, authorizing funding for rehabilitation of a city-owned structure on an airport property for use as an educational facility and for associated tarmac property and access improvements in support of the U of A North Arkansas College and Clinton High School. Should I read the whole resolution?
Well, I guess that's up to the council.
Well,
Is it on for a complete reading?
I'm sorry.
You read the whole thing.
All right. Whereas the City of Clinton recognizes the importance of supporting education and workforce development opportunities for local students, particularly in technical and high-demand fields vital to the state's economy. And whereas the state of Arkansas has identified aerospace as its leading export industry, representing a growing sector of employment and opportunity for the next generation. And whereas the Aviation Education Project is a cooperative effort between the City of Clinton, U of A North Arkansas College, North Ark, and Clinton High School to enhance aviation facilities and provide hands-on educational and workforce pathways for students pursuing careers in aviation and aerospace. And whereas Clinton High School has entered into a 40-month lease agreement at the airport, demonstrating strong commitment and substantial investment in both the airport and the educational program. And whereas the City Municipal Airport is property of the City of Clinton and the Clinton Municipal Airport Commission, established under the Arkansas Airport Commission Act, is charged with the full authority to operate, maintain, and improve the airport on behalf of the city. And since the structure in question is a city-owned facility, the Commission respectfully requests the city funding assistance for its improvements. And whereas the airport has operated as a self-sustaining facility for more than 30 years. However, this educational incentive was not included in the airport's 5-year capital improvement plan and has arisen as an unplanned but exceptional opportunity to partner with North Ark and the Clinton School District. And whereas the city-owned building designated for educational use was left in disrepair by a previous tenant, rendering it unusable and a liability to the city, and its revitalization is necessary to restore the facility to safe and functional condition, allowing it to serve as a vital training site for aviation education. Returning the building to operation will ensure that the city's owned asset once again contributes to economic growth, workforce development, and community advancement. And whereas the projects are identified as follows. Project 1, renovations to the city-owned structure for use as an educational facility. Total cost $309,422.38, supported by $235,760 in grant funds and $30,000 in airport funds, leaving a city funding request of $43,660. And Project 2, educational facility tarmac and property rehabilitation and educational facility hangar access improvements, crack fill, seal coat, removal of privacy fence, removal of waste, hazard adjacent to the building, entrance canopy, new hangar door, and labor. Total cost $220,000. State grant providing $198,000, of which $15,400 is requested from the city, and the remainder will be provided from airport funds.
Okay, you're on the wrong. What are you on?
Ours, we got different numbers.
We got different numbers than you just read on that second page.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We got total cost $217,115. State aeronautics grant providing $195,404, which $15,200 is requested from the city, and the remainder will be provided from airport funds.
Yeah.
That's the correct.
Yeah, that's the update.
These are the correct ones.
The other number, okay.
Yeah.
The lower one is.
The lower one's the update.
Whereas the combined city contribution,
Yes.
okay, sorry. Contribution requested for both projects totaled $58,860, ensuring successful implementation of improvements that will benefit students, educators, and the community while revitalizing valuable city-owned property. And whereas the Commission acknowledges that the funding levels currently available represent the maximum resources of the airport can sustain while continuing to operate safely, efficiently, in accordance with all applicable laws and FAA standards. And whereas all supporting documentation, including bids, invoices, leases, and grant materials, will be made available for transparency and public record. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Clinton, Arkansas. 1, the City Council hereby authorizes and approves a total city contribution of $58,860 to support completion of Project 1 and Project 2, at the city municipal airport. 2, this allocation represents the city's continued investment in education, workforce development, and economic growth through partnership with U of A North Arkansas College, Clinton High School, and the Clinton Municipal Airport Commission. 3, the Airport Commission and city officials are authorized to execute all necessary documents and coordinate with state and federal agencies to ensure successful completion of these improvements. And 4, these projects shall serve as a foundation for promoting student engagement and advancement in aerospace, the state's leading export industry, while preserving and improving city-owned infrastructure. I think, do we have a motion and a second to adopt this resolution?
Well, we have a motion on the floor to
Okay.
move the money from somewhere else.
Okay.
Maybe, do we need to withdraw that motion and do this first, pass the resolution, and then?
Well,
That'd be the-
I think whether the money's there needs to be a part of the conversation, so.
You'll just keep the money?
So I restate my motion. I make a motion, we adopt this resolution, taking the money from previous year's revenue.
For that amount of 58.
But that's in the resolution.
Dawson, yeah, it's in here.
Okay.
You'll second it? Okay.
Okay. Any discussion?
Richard, I'll just say this is just one of these decisions that come along where we're talking about what the future of Clinton and Van Buren County is gonna be. And, you know, I've always gotten excited every time we talk about these opportunities, especially with North Ark and what we're giving these young people, an opportunity to do. So, I'm all for it because it's gonna generate a lot more revenue down the line than $58,000.
I came over to your open house and you had students bust in and aeronautics and become a mechanic in 20 months and make $80,000. And I know in the past the county spent money on trying to get in cities. How do we get industry coming? You have something that's homegrown and utilizing. I think it's definitely got a great future.
Yeah, we have high hopes. The commission does. They're working really hard to try and seize every opportunity we can to attract North Ark down here. And you know, I think there are probably some big announcements coming about an aviation hub. But if you do that, you do have investors pretty quickly. You've got a workforce in place and a place for them to train and live at a lower cost than a metro area. So it is exciting.
Any other discussion? I'll ask for a vote.
Barnes?
Yes.
Hastings?
Yes.
Pistol?
Yes.
Ward?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
2025-16.
Thank you. Brings us to resolution, interlocal agreement with the county, Act 371.
You need someone to read?
Yeah, yes.
This is the one for the county?
If you'll read the resolution with the interlocal agreement, you want to just read them both?
You just read the resolution.
Okay, just read the resolution, yeah, it's,
A resolution designating and authorizing the mayor to execute an interlocal agreement with the county.
yes.
Whereas there is a need to confirm with Van Buren County a cost-sharing agreement for district court due to recent changes in Arkansas law. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Clinton, Arkansas, Section 1, that the mayor is hereby authorized and directed to execute the interlocal agreement attached to this resolution. I make a motion for its adoption.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Did this pan out good for you or easier or
It's the same amount
50/50?
that we've been paying.
I
Unless,
saw something in here, so if you go over that we get.
It's the next page is
Yeah.
specifies amounts.
So the legislature made some changes to the way, so really what this comes down to is the way district court judges were paid. That was the big change. Now the state is paying them, and so that we're not keeping the exact same percentages of funding. There were some other changes related to cost share agreements with the city and county, so there's kind of a need to reaffirm kind of what we do. City and county share some burden for running their district court. So Dina sent me some numbers. $4,842.98 is what we send monthly to the county, correct?
Correct.
And so my understanding from the county judge is that he just wants to reaffirm what was going on before, so that's what this would do. And then there is an addition there. For some reason, if $4,842.98 isn't there, then we do 50% of the balance, just to make sure we can continue to send them something. So, but the intent is nothing changes as far as what's been going on.
Any other discussion? I'll ask for a vote.
Barnes.
Yes.
Hastings.
Yes.
Pistol.
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
2025-17.
Next, we have a resolution. It's a memorandum of understanding with Survival Flight. This is a resolution designating and authorizing the mayor to execute a memorandum of understanding with Survival Flight EMS LLC. Whereas the city has entered into a lease with Survival Flight EMS LLC to occupy the space designed for an ambulance service, and whereas there is a need to clarify the division of electric utilities cost of the building, now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Clinton, Arkansas, Section 1, that the mayor is hereby authorized and directed to execute a memorandum of understanding in the attached resolution. Attached.
Motion we adopt the resolution.
Second.
Any discussion?
So this is the lease. We have the lease that Survival Flight entered into to occupy a portion of the fire station with their ambulance bays. As part of the lease, the tenant is responsible for its utility costs, which is kind of natural. The issue with the fire station is that there is a generator that's designed to keep the entire building running in the event of emergency, and because of the use of the generator, you really can't split the meter. So we need to figure out how we're going to divide utility costs because Survival Flight is occupying the building more than our fire department. They've agreed to be responsible for 80% of electrical utilities, and I think the fire chief has determined that seems about accurate as far as what the use would be. So that's what this memorandum of understanding does. It just sets out, we understand that we have to figure out how we're going to divide this utility meter up, and they're going to agree to pay 80%.
And is there a time frame on that, or?
Yeah. So we'll get our bill. We
like a year, like 5-year agreement, or?
They say this is terrible for us, or good for us.
It doesn't change the lease. It's not an amendment to the lease. It's just statement like we need to figure out what the lease requires us to do. So it's as long as the lease is in effect, this memorandum of understanding is in effect.
Ambulance is still here 3 more years. With their current agreement, I believe.
They've got their franchise agreement. Yeah, and I think we tried to. I don't remember the term of the lease, but I think it's more or less matched up with whatever their franchise agreement is.
Well, that'd be a good warming station for us if it can go on only 20%. No, I'm glad we have a renter, and it's 80%. If they're happy with it, that seems legit.
Everything else is separated, just the electric because of the generator.
Yeah, and again, it was kind of one of those, just didn't. Wish we'd put it in the lease, just didn't think about it. So.
The cost of the 2 generators was substantially more when we were putting the project together.
That doesn't make
Yeah, this seems reasonable.
It's not going to break
got
anybody.
one generator to keep it operational and 2, send it to. So.
Anything else? I'll take a vote to adopt or not adopt the ordinance.
Barnes.
Yes.
Hastings.
Yes.
Pistol.
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
2025-18.
Thank you. Brings us last of new business and ordinance levying the millage. It's something we do every year. Currently it's at 2.9 mils. That's been that way a long time. It's real and personal property tax for general operations. I'm not sure what it generates for us. I want to say 160, 180 is what we were talking about last year maybe. I could be wrong. Dina will know a lot more about that. But should I put this on a first reading, then or first, second?
It's an emergency clause, so it's got an emergency clause, and you
Okay.
pass it, and you need to approve the emergency clause.
Okay.
So it takes effect
I'll
today.
entertain a
tonight.
motion second to put this on the first, second, and third reading. Right. First, second, and third reading.
With the,
With the emergency clause. Yes.
So moved.
Second.
I'll ask, that's first, second, third. I'd like to have a vote for that.
Barnes,
Yes.
Hastings.
Yes.
Pistol.
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
This is an ordinance levying a 2.9 mil real and personal property tax for general operations of the city of Clinton, Arkansas, to declare an emergency and for other purposes, whereas the city of Clinton, Arkansas is required to pass an ordinance setting forth the millage rate for property taxes to be collected for the city of Clinton, Arkansas in the next year. And whereas the city of Clinton, Arkansas desires that property taxes for the year 2025 be set at the same level and assessed and collected in 2026, and whereas such ordinance must be passed and provided to the Van Buren County Assessors and Collectors Offices by the time of the Van Buren County Quorum Court's November meeting. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Clinton, Arkansas, Section 1, the City of Clinton, Arkansas hereby levies and assesses a 2.9 mil property tax on real and personal property in Van Buren County as prescribed by law for the year of 2025, which tax will be collected by Van Buren County, Arkansas. Sections 2, the City of Clinton finds that an immediate implementation of this ordinance is necessary for the preservation of the public's peace, health, safety, and welfare, and property. An emergency is hereby declared to exist, and that the ordinance is to be in effect immediately after its adoption. I'll entertain a motion and a second to adopt this ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? I'll ask I can feel one. I'll ask for a vote.
Barnes,
Yes.
Hastings.
Yes.
Pistol.
No.
Ward.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
We need to adopt the emergency clause as well.
I'll entertain a motion second to adopt the emergency clause.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? I'll ask for a vote.
Barnes,
Yes.
Hastings.
Yes.
Pistol.
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Thank you all. Brings us down to public comment.
Hold on, 2025-10.
Sorry. 2025. Brings us down to public comment. We have Landon Gatlliff tonight. He has a proposal. I'm going to let him introduce himself. My wife said he's one of the best students she's ever had. I worked with his dad on the school board, and Martha's a great lady, and they were patient with the water department up there, I think. Anyway, Landon's very talented, and he's got a proposal. I think I gave you copies of that. I'll let him explain it. He's an IT guy, and I'm absolutely not. So, Landon, thanks for your patience, and I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, before I begin, I just want to make sure that everyone has a copy of that proposal in their packet. If so, I'll just go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Landon Gatliff. I'm the owner of Gatlliff Marketing Consultants. It's a marketing business, and we help small businesses, organizations, churches, municipalities with their marketing. So that includes everything from their websites to their commercials that they put out, to their social media and their ads and like their billboards that you see. And so I met with the mayor about 7 months ago, and we just talked about the city's marketing, and we both were in agreement that there's room for improvements. And before I go any further, if you look in your proposal, there is a QR code, and that takes you to some of my work that I've done. On there, you'll see the Van Buren County's website. They are getting a new website, which will launch January 1st, at the very beginning of the year. In addition, I've done the Clinton Municipal Airport's website, along with several other in our community, and then also out of state as well. So there's plenty of references that you can look on there and see, and I'm sure you'll be confident in my abilities to do the job. But whenever the mayor and I met about 7 months ago, one of the first things that we talked about was the current city's website. Looking over the current city's website, and I know Mr. Lynch mentioned this last meeting, and I know he's not here tonight, but he mentioned, it's not very accessible for information. So if people in the public go on there and look, it's extremely difficult to find information on there. In addition, I don't believe that it presents our city in the most professional way possible. One of the other things that we talked about was social media. Social media is such a powerful way to connect with people. The older generation, and then also people my age, they're on it and they use it. And it's just a great resources that a city has. And then one of the last things that we discussed was videos. Videos are such a personal way to connect with people. It's very personal because it's almost like you and I talking. You get to see someone real, you get to hear their voice, and it just provides a connection that is entirely different. And so the proposal, what is included in it is a new website, videos, social media management. And I want to be clear that good marketing, I think oftentimes when we think of marketing, we just check a box and like, I have a website or I have a Facebook page. But good marketing is being about consistent about what you have, because that consistency builds momentum. If this proposal is approved, the city would receive the following. The first one being a new website. It would be completely built from scratch. This is not an update to your current website. It is a complete rebuild. I will take new photos with my camera equipment, and then also have a drone that will capture photos with. And these photos will be used on the website, but then also it could be used in videos and in social media. The new website would have a search function. One of the pieces of information that I mentioned earlier is that it's kind of hard for people to go on there and look and find specific information. But with the new website, there'll be a search function. And so people can search in, when is the next city council meeting? And it spits the answer back out to them, which makes it a lot more clear and a lot more useful for residents to use. In addition, this proposal includes updates to the website. I don't think a website is any good if you just let it sit there. So this means that whenever new ordinances are passed, whenever you have new upcoming events, or whenever information changes, I will go in there and I will make sure that it is updated. The next thing on this is social media management, which means that you would get one post per month. That would include the text, the graphic, the video, or just the still post. And these posts could range from employee spotlights to what's happening in Clinton or events going on that would be posted by me. And then one of the last things that this proposal includes is 3 videos per year. Each of these videos would be about 1.5 minutes long. The videos could highlight projects that we're doing in Clinton, improvements or other areas, or you could have a few local business owners come in and talk about what does it mean having their business in Clinton. What I offer to you is unique. I think it's important that I pointed out that I have done the Van Buren County website and I've done the Clinton Airport's website, but I want to be clear that you aren't getting a recycled design. You're getting something that is made for you. It's not made for anyone else. Every project that I take on is unique, so everything that I make is unique for that client. So the reason that this proposal is structured as a monthly thing instead of just a one-time project is I don't believe that if we were to do just a one-time project, your information would get outdated, it gets harder to manage, things change. But instead, with a monthly partnership, which is what I'm offering, you're getting someone who stays on top of it every single month and making sure everything stays new, consistent, and it really builds that momentum. By having a monthly agreement, you're not just receiving a new website and being left alone to manage it. You're receiving someone who's local, who understands your area, and has worked on projects like this before. And you're receiving someone who has done jobs like this before, and it's in my wheelhouse. As a result, residents will be able to find information more easy. Information is more accessible, which builds trust and also promotes transparency. As for the City of Clinton, you'll be able to present yourself more professional online, which helps almost every area, from business to tourism and our reputation. When I work with someone, I want them to know that I want them to succeed, and I want to be a champion for Clinton. We have so many good things here in our city, and it's so important that we highlight them. This proposal is a one-year contract of $7,200, which would be billed at $600 per month. This includes the website, the hosting fees, the updates, social media, 3 videos per year, and the ongoing support. Again, in that proposal, you'll find the QR code you can scan to see some of my work. I believe that this is a fair price for all that's included and the long-term value that it brings to the city. I want to thank you for your time and letting me come speak. And now I'll let the mayor add anything that he wants, and then I'll be happy to answer some of your questions, which I'm sure that you have them for me.
Okay, thanks, Landon. Yeah, it's a joke about me and IT. I mean, but I've
He's
seen.
using a spiral.
I know
He's
something.
using a spiral notebook.
Yeah, exactly, and a pencil, number 2. But I have seen what you've done when someone shows me, and it's very impressive. I do know of him. I know his parents for sure, and anything I've ever heard about him has been good. All the teachers, says that's who you want. He's got it together, and I told him we're going to go, and I'll say this, we'll work on our budget after Thanksgiving. Between then and Christmas, we'll figure out the best days for everybody. And I told him, just put that proposal in front of everybody and everybody chew on that and look at it. So when we meet after Thanksgiving, he's easy to find. You can track him down. And thank you for
Mr.
coming.
Mayor?
Thank you. You said 7 months. It's been a while. Yes.
I had a question. Would this be something that A&P could pay for legally, since it's advertising, promoting
Well,
the
there's a
city?
portion of it that is basically your seat of your government, because it's where someone goes to get vital information. I don't know that. I mean, I guess there's part of it that is promoting services and things like that. You can maybe carve up some of it to be an A&P expense. And I mean, obviously there's a marketing element.
Right.
There's an element to this is advertising the city. There's also an element to it that someone's like, I wonder what it costs to get a permit to build a new house, and they can go there instead of making the call between 8 and 4:30.
Well, there's no question that our footprint and all that is very, very weak on social media. It's very weak, and people have done a kind of a good job. But I think you need to look at this is what he does, and he's homegrown. He's probably not going to go anywhere. Hopefully, I mean, you get married, that'll change. That might, but anyway, and I just tell people, if you want to see what's going on social media wise, just look at school districts, and you look at schools, what schools are putting out. Because if you're not talking about competitive now with anything, with school choice and with anything, and if you want to see people one up people on things on social media, and grabbing people's attention, and that's the place to look. But I mean, my thing is, I want somebody that's what they do for a living, and that's the big thing for me. And we do have a very, very weak thing, and I think the greatest thing we hear is we always get these people on Facebook complaining about stuff. And some of it's kind of legit because, 90% of it's not, because it's just somebody ranting. But some of it is legit because they can't find it. And they get frustrated because they can't find the information. And they don't know where to go. And so I think this is, again, a good decision that we look at and kind of move forward on and get the biggest splash that we can and when we put it out. Because that's how kids do stuff now. That's all that stuff, I'm just like you, Richard. I just kind of ride on the wave and stuff.
Well, currently
that's how it is now.
Currently, it's part of our hardware, software.
Currently, I don't know. I didn't look it up.
Yeah, I mean, but
We weren't voting on it.
it's kind of tied in. I know. I was just trying to think in my head, but we roughly pay around $28,000 a year in support and.
Oh, that's for our IT stuff.
Yeah, that's not part of that.
No.
There's a separate.
It's just like, yeah, it's a minor
couldn't
amount.
remember,
But it's
you
because
know.
we chose not to have that person to do it.
Do the website.
That's right. That's why it's like it is.
Well, no, I know that, but I mean, I thought the company out of Jonesboro was doing the website too, or they're just hosting it.
No.
Because I thought that was whole when we swapped all that.
Yeah.
That.
No, the Critical Edge, they just do our IT part.
Didn't they have a secondary company?
There's another company, but that's not secondary to them, but yes.
Oh, okay. And we didn't go that route back in.
We do, but they're just hosting it. And I
Yeah.
think they have so much for people to feed it, but
What are they charging us now for that?
$450?
A month?
No.
Yeah, that's the hosting service.
They're just hosting.
Yeah.
No.
And with their license and stuff that they put. I have to look them out
And
to
our,
see.
our website has to migrate to .gov as well, is that correct? So
Exactly.
that's something you're aware of?
That's something I am aware of it, and I've done that for the Van Buren County website, so I'm aware.
Here's one question I've got. So we have our city code, and that is one thing where we definitely need to do a better job of getting that out in the public. And so some municipalities, if you'll kind of, I was actually, while you were going through, I was trying to find one, because I know a couple of them that do it, but they have an integrated code system. I think Dina even talked about this at some point, where you have part of your website could have the code system where it's like a really easy to read or outline version where you can go through and you can navigate that. And I think that we need to get our code, our municipal code onto the website so that people can see it. It's going to save Tim a lot of time, Dina a lot of time, me a lot of time.
The code's on there, it's just not updated since we done it in 2019.
So it's not on there. So it'd be really, yeah.
8 years it's not on.
Yeah,
It's on there, but it's not been updated.
Yeah.
And other cities' websites I've gone on, and they have their zoning maps on there, so you can go anywhere and just find out what that zone is.
I think once you get kind of integrated into one of those programs, every time you update, like, you know, when an ordinance is passed, it updates something, you can then update your website. Kind of almost, it becomes pretty easy to sort of update the website. So that's something I think would be a good idea to consider.
So are your plans to take away the code book?
No.
So who's going to
Put the
update
code
that?
online.
Who's going to update the code?
I kind of like this, Mr. Gatlliff up here.
But I don't think he's going to do it for $600 a month.
I'm talking about something. I'm talking about
Chat.
I'm talking about you have it on the website, and
Along with.
and so when you pass an ordinance that updates that portion, then you can then figure out, you can then migrate it over into.
That would be separate. Let's say we.
I'd like to talk to you. Here's my point is I'd like to talk to you about that. I'm not saying that should be part of your proposal, because I obviously went and talked about that, but that's something that I've seen other cities do, and I think it's doable. And I'd like to talk to you about that. Or whoever does this, I'd like to do that.
I also think we need to talk about one of the things, who's going to be the point of contact at the city. Because you can have all the great things going on.
You're exactly right.
And you can
If you
have a
don't feed
person that's willing and ready to put it out there. But that's one of the things too, is you gotta have somebody that all that stuff goes to, so you can give it to someone so they can do something with
We've
it.
talked about that for 10 years, that if it's not fed, it's just stale, and it's sitting there.
So it sounds to me like
And somebody in-house has to be giving that information all the time, so Landon can do great, or whoever's doing it, but they're gonna be down there at City Hall saying, hey, I need this, who's gonna feed it to them? And so you gotta have somebody that's gonna be willing and ready.
Probably, outside of Trevor and Will, the rest of us old folk, it's like, but, because they do that. That's it. That's how they communicate. That's how they get stuff out. And I agree 100%. We've had, but you have to have a person that's going to be part of their responsibility, part of their job duty, to make sure that if we're going to market the city, that they get the information to the person, because that person, the marketing person, can't do it. That's not their job. They have a job, but we're going to have somebody that is going to have to be part of their
You
job
volunteering?
responsibility to do.
Are you volunteering?
Go ahead and list the job advertisement. I might apply. I'm getting ready to retire. That might be a good part-time job.
So you need another employee, is that what you're saying?
I
that
need,
does
no,
just
what
that?
I'm saying,
That's what he said.
Dana, what I'm saying is, it hadn't worked because
Oh, I
We don't
totally
have a
understand.
person that has been designated to collect the information and put it out. So if that means that we need to hire somebody, we might look at that for budget, that can do that. If that means adding some responsibilities to somebody else that's working there and bump their salary up because of the additional responsibilities, that's something we need to talk about. But we don't need to go down the same road and expect different results, because we've done that. And all that means is we're gonna spend $7,200 if we go with Landon, and then Landon's gonna be extremely frustrated because every time he wants to do something, there's nothing there. So that's what I think in the next month or so, we need to have a serious talk about.
So, for example, the code thing I wanted to, so I prepare ordinances for every meeting. If we get the system up like I think is capable of being done, the city attorney, I'm not gonna say necessarily me, but my contract is my office, we would update every month, because it's gonna be easy. If it's done the way I think it should be done, it would be easy to update it monthly, so the code stays up to date month to month to month.
And your office could have access to that portion.
I've seen city websites that have it, and it'll say up to date as of blah, blah. I don't necessarily, I'm not gonna pretend to know how the ones and zeros work, but as far as I can get into the system, I can take, 9.04.01 goes into here and do
You need
that.
to verify what's been put on there or what's being put on there to make it right.
Once there's a rubric in place to do it, and hopefully that's something that we can look at to put it on the website, and I can, and my office could get access, again, whether it's me or Kimberly or Nikki, and then we would update it monthly for the city code portion of it so it stays up to date. And I'd like to do it because it makes me, I don't like that it's just all kind of, I'd like to figure out a way to make it up to date for people. So.
For context for the county, whenever they would like stuff updated, like new ordinances and stuff like that, an employee at the county, they send it to me, and then I update it to the website.
Yeah, that's what, well, that's your proposal, and then if you had to, we went with that, you have to add such and such, I get all that, and I get the, that'd be a good thing. And I'll say this, I know we spent $80,000 tonight, and that's something that'll come in after, on our budget. And that's something you just have to consider too. And if, y'all get the same budget we do, and I won't say something about the department heads after a while, but everybody at this table works hard at it. But if, when in doubt, and you have an idea or something, go to Recorder Treasurer, and she can say, here's what you got, or I would recommend that, or you can if you want to, but it's a great source. And Len, I appreciate you coming in and presenting that. There's no doubt about the quality of your work. And like I say, I'm the last guy for social media. I'm a joke, but I know I'm a joke. But it is right, when you go to look for something, bam, you can find it. The way I work social media is I ask my wife or daughter, or any other of these people. I know they're all old, but they're way more savvy than I. But that's just something you have to consider in your budget. And so that's all I have to say on that. Anything else for Landon or comment?
I would just say that it probably, and I'd like to talk to you too, probably needs to, whoever on the council has expectations for whatever website design is, needs to talk to him. Give him an idea of what we're kind of wanting, so he may have to redo his bid, because I don't think he can do what all we want for $600 a month.
Well, let's don't tell him that. He's just a kid. And in so doing that, it's, Charles needs asphalt, and that's and you could be reminded of that. It's your projected revenue and your revenue, and that's
once the wheel's built, it flows a lot better, but you got to get that built first.
Anything else on that?
Real quickly, I'm Landon's client times 2. He runs the airport and Dawson Aircraft's page, and you're not going to find anybody that's got a better work ethic. And it, for some people, it's hard to swallow that when you're behind a computer and you don't really know what's going on. But this guy works all day long, day in and day out. And I hope he stays in town. But if he doesn't, he's the guy we're going to be putting at the bottom of the hill that says hometown of Landon. He's that kind of guy. And secondly, I'll just, being his client, the way we operate is we just all have his cell phone number. Dewey, Tim, Mayor, if you have a good idea for a post, I'll just say, give me a post about the paint room, and that's all I do. And then Landon makes a beautiful video and sends it out. So as far as like content or ideas, if anybody has an idea, throw it at Landon, and he'll be so piled full, and he just scatters it out through the.
He made me look like I could put a sentence together.
Right.
And so that's saying something. But then, budget.
That's all I wanted to say. I'm hands off on that stuff. Everything you see on our page is not me. He comes up with all that and does that. I don't do any of that.
Anything else for him? Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me. And if you have any questions for me, my phone number is in there. Feel free to call me and I'll be happy to answer any of your questions.
Okay, still under public comment. I was going to jump anything. Dana on the IT provider, on IT stuff sorted. You going to mention? What's that?
You said you were going to. What do you want me to say?
Right now, if we're going to next step.
Okay, yeah, we're changing IT providers. We're getting away from Critical Edge and we're going to Next Step. It's around the same price. So Next Step Innovation is who we're using at the first of the year.
They're out of Little Rock, right?
I think it's someone you're familiar with.
Is that the same one the water department uses? Is that what y'all use?
No.
I've dealt with.
When we were shopping around, she had already kind of been looking at Next Step. They were a little bit more expensive than what we did, and they wouldn't make the promises we wanted them to make. But I will say I'm not 100% happy with the way we went. So when you don't have any protection at all, and then all of a sudden you get it, all the things you've been doing before don't seem to work without permission from somebody. So it's an everyday. The last 2 weeks, our front desk is only going on a backup. They get no current information. We have to just back it up daily, and if it's not in there, she can only see what we backed up the computer. It's not working. So we only have one computer that actually sees up-to-date stuff. And when you've got a whole room of people trying to pay their bill, and that's an issue with the water department, is getting people to pay their bill, and then when they do, we don't have the current information except on one computer. It's been a pain. So
I guess I was wrong. It's Mississippi, Clinton, Mississippi. I knew. I've seen them.
No, it's just about the same price. Yeah.
But we did look at Next Step, and I did talk to them and get a proposal for it. They were just a little bit more expensive than us getting into it. So.
It's actually the same girl that sold us the first one from Critical Edge.
Sounds good.
She's very good. Yeah. She will take care of you.
I know nothing how it works, but she can explain things to me, and that's hard to do. That's all I gotta say. Anything else from the council on public comments or any, thanks everybody for being here. Any open to anybody that needs to say anything? If not, I'll close with the mayor's comment. We had the Quad State Bass Tournament at the fire station. That went really well. The color run, they finally got to do that. I think they made them a little revenue on that. Over 2,000. Scare on the Square was great. The Moonshine Festival, appreciate everybody helping on that. Veterans Day, Vandy Brantley he came and talked to us, had a great thing over at the fairgrounds. Dale was there, Holt, and certainly done your part in service to our country. And we're looking at I think next year I'll have a Veterans Parade. It's got a lot of energy behind it, and I'm excited about that, and I appreciate the work on that. We got Christmas in Clinton in 2 weeks, believe it or not. Parade floats, I think you check with Savannah. If you got on the contest, the cooking and the light decoration, or booths, check with Jeff Pistol. Going to have free food downtown, and St. Nicholas is going to be there, so don't forget that. Other thing I wanted to say, department heads, got a really, really good guy called me out of the blue, Barry Burke, and he was bragging on a couple of our department heads. Never worked with anybody who's any more professional, any better with zoning and the fire chief. And he just went on and on about he's seen a lot of stuff in other cities. And it's nice when you have somebody that's that professional and kind of knows what they're talking about and asks the right questions. So he's very complimentary of that. And it's encouraging to me when it's 2:30 in the morning, it's sleeting, and I don't have to wonder about if the streets are okay. I know Charles is there, and every one of these, the water department's gotten so much better. And Jay's talking about IT, he's a great officer, a great human being, and he's also tech savvy, and he works well with this lady, knows what he's talking about. And across the board, you have a great city. Your department heads are the unelected guys that'll outlive all elected people, and we're in good hands. So I'm grateful for that. And not to leave him out the table, you know what I think about y'all. Like I say, Jeff he'll agree with me one minute, the next minute he won't. And that none of y'all they're just out of a can. You think about it, and I do appreciate that, and especially Dina, and I wasn't very serious about that. When you have an idea or something or want to do that, definitely go to her. She's the most accessible person. If you just go to her and say, I'm having a problem with this, I guarantee you she can push in the right direction. And we got a good city attorney too. So anyway, that's all I got to say now that I'm fawning over everybody.
Hey, Richard.
Yes.
Remember Act 283 we talked about for ward-based voting? Did you talk to anybody about that?
Say what? No, I didn't. I remember
Okay.
that number.
We talked about it.
For what? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. And I was getting to that then. Yeah. Act 283. Or proposal, I was going to address that, things we're going to bring up next month. You have a month to think about it. I did talk to some of you about it, but I wanted to mention it tonight. There's a proposal right now, when you go vote for city council member, you vote, the whole city gets to vote for Sean or against Sean or whatever. There's a proposal that you could break it down into wards. So just in Sammy and Tim's ward or whatever, only those people would vote for their representative. I think that works good for big cities, Chicago, even Little Rock. That's the way they do it. People in the Heights are going to vote for somebody in the Heights, not somebody in Southwest Little Rock. I think personally, a town of our size is tiny. For voter turnout, I think as small as we are, we know everyone. If you want to, just think about that and put it on the agenda if you want to. If you want to change it to have only people in that ward vote for that representative, we can do that. But I see that, votes of 26 to 34,
Would
and
it
I
cost
think.
any money to do that?
What's that?
Would it cost money to do that if you changed it to that? I mean, would it
That
cost
I
us?
don't know.
I would imagine it's.
I wouldn't
voting
think
machine
so.
Needs to be programmed a certain way. It's probably.
But it's something to consider.
We just have to do an ordinance before January 1, 2026 to give to the clerk.
And if,
Clerk's
and if
office.
one of you want that, of course, anything you want to put on the agenda, it gets on there. So just think about that between.
What we normally, I'm trying to remember 400 or 500 votes average for the whole city?
No,
more than that.
we've had greater than that some years.
Well, I've made a lot of people mad, so it could be more than that.
I'm
But
just
yeah,
trying to
it's a
think
little
of,
more than that.
average.
No, it's more.
And I,
Is it more?
it's more than that, but I'm also thinking of school board, how small it is sometimes. And I just personally, that's if you, look into it.
You think like school board, I've had people, well, I thought I could vote. They
Right.
come to the school and then now you're not.
Well, another thing, our wards are, are you in this ward or
Yeah.
that ward technically? Not that we couldn't do that, but I think Clinton, Arkansas, the way it's standing, that's my opinion. But
I think most people think that's the way it is already. 'Cause I have to correct people all the time. No, you can vote. You can vote.
When you signed up, get all your signatures, you had to get them in your ward.
I thought so, yeah. It's been a while.
You still have to do that, but when you vote is the whole deal with that.
yeah.
Citywide.
Yeah.
I was
Is
gonna
it
say that could
citywide or are you going to
be a
do?
problem for you getting people even, so you gotta go where people don't know you to get them signed.
Yeah, you got that right.
Okay.
Sammy Ward is the best boss I've ever had.
Have they got a pre-made ordinance, or is it something we Chad have to make, or?
It's something we'll have to make. I'm sure I can find one from the league.
Either way, or if we
No.
If we don't want to change it, we don't do nothing.
That's what,
Yeah.
If you want to change it, then we have to do an ordinance, has to be passed, and to the county clerk's office by January 1,
But
26.
if you wanna run it, just put it on the agenda for next month.
So if somebody wants to say, hey, I want to, if you'll contact me, there's a city attorney listserv. If somebody's been bouncing around different ideas, if you want to do something.
Well, is it something, while we were doing it, could we also change our, from 2-year to 4-year terms that are staggered, like we tried to do before, and just run that as one ordinance?
It's gotta be.
Throw the millage in there. Watch him.
That's not just an ordinance.
Oh, it's not, it doesn't have to be voted on? It just has to be voted on by the council?
That's correct.
The 280, Act 280?
Yeah.
No, it's just an ordinance
That's
for the
just the
council.
council.
Yeah, you, I'm sorry, I'm sure I'm ready to
We're
talk.
making something for the ballot?
No.
Okay. Never mind.
Okay. Anything, if you have that, put on the agenda for sure. Other thing, Jenny Jones texted me today, this Saturday at Center Ridge, they're having a Victory Mission Bible Training Center. 750 Austin Road is the address. They do good work down there. I said I'd mention that. That's a good group. Jenny Jones down in Center Ridge, Austin, down at Austin. And we'll look at our budget after Thanksgiving. I want everybody to we got a lot to go. The street department, the ultimate department who does everybody and things that nobody's job is their job. So if you want to help hang lights, I guarantee you they could use some help, or you want to bring a display and put up. Christmas in Clinton is a great thing, and it's something you can come to the court square. It's like the old squirrel cage drawing. And Sid's going to help us out. Like I said, Santa's going to be there. Jeff's going to be talking it up with Sid, and it'll be a good thing. And Ralph Tester and his bunch, and they do the toys, and a lot of good things going on in Clinton, Arkansas. Again, thank you all for being here. Thank you for caring enough to try to make a difference in your community. And with that, I'll entertain a motion, a second to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.